Hey everyone, happy Monday. I'm all done with work. I'm sitting here relaxing for today and watching some videos on the internet and stuff, and my PDD is kicking in today. If you don't know what PDD is, that is post-Disney depression. Basically, it's been about 5 months since our last trip down to Disney World, and post-Disney depression obviously is the depression you get following a Disney World vacation. Because it's that great excitement that you have when you're there, and then once it's over, you come back to reality, and reality doesn't live up to the expectations of Disney World sometimes. So I'm in my PDD today, and I figured I'd share some of my Disney stuff with you guys to help relieve some of my symptoms. I'm a huge Donald Duck fan. I have my Donald Duck shirt on today, and I figured I'd show some of my Donald Duck pins that I have. My wife and I were huge pin traders. We started probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We started pin trading, and it has pretty much taken over our lives to this point. We have several hundred pins between the two of us. I only collect Donald Duck, but my wife collects Pluto. She loves Pluto. She loves Chip and Dale, and she loves like Grumpy and some other characters too. She's a big Wally fan also. But I'm not going to show any of her pins today because my wife will kill me if I show any of her pins without her being here. So I want to show you some of my Donald pins. So let's go ahead and take a look. I have them all on a big cork board here. The board's kind of deceiving because it's such a massive board, but there's actually 108 pins on this board that I have collected throughout the years. And I'll give you a quick pan of them really quickly here, and then we'll go in for a little closer inspection. I can talk about some of them. All the ones on the top row are limited or special edition pins. And starting right up here on the corner, this is my favorite pin that I have. This was a the year 2000 mystery pin, and it's actually individually numbered on the back. I don't know how well you can see that. Yep, there you go. Number 261 of 500. It was a mystery pin set that this came out in, along with a few other pins. It's extremely rare, and I paid a pretty good penny for this pin. And in the Disney-Ana pin trading book, this pin's worth well over $200. So that is my pride and joy of my pin collection. This one here, I love the many faces on the shield of Donald. I believe that one's a 250. Yep, that's a limited edition of 250 with the serial number on the back. There's another Donald on the shield. What's that one? That one's a 1500. That one's not as rare, but that's still a pretty cool pin. I love the Joker card. That's part of a whole card set. I'd like to collect all of them, but with Donald for the start, that's 1,000 on that one. Limited edition 1,000. This one's a pretty cool pin because it has the artist certificate for him being designed. And that one's a 2,500. That one's not very rare, but it's pretty cool. It's got how that swivels. Now this pin's kind of disappointing to me. I love this pin because Donald's in the inkwell and his head's on a spring, but it says Disneyland on it. And unfortunately, I have never been to Disneyland. I've only been to Disney World. And I usually don't like to buy Disneyland memorabilia since I haven't been there, but it was a really cool pin and I just had to have it for my collection. Now this next one here, this one might not look like much. It's kind of plain. It's Donald in a snowsuit with a pickaxe. And this is the most rare pin that's on this board. You flip this over really quickly and you'll see how well I can show this. You can't really see it too well, but it says limited edition of 50 on that pin. Now that pin is part of what they called the Expedition Everest. It was a framed pin set. It came out in 2008, and it had all the characters in the snow outfit with their pickaxes climbing Expedition Everest, and there was a big Yeti pin was the main pin to the set. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, if it's part of a framed pin set, how do you have that pin? Well, some idiot bought that framed pin set, cracked it open out of the case, and sold all the pins separately. So that's the only way you can get that pin by itself without buying the whole frame set, is by opening the case and buying it individually. So that was extremely rare find on my part to get that pin out of the case. So that, I mean, that frame set sells for a pretty penny, and I've got the one pin that I wanted out of the set, but I happened to buy it. So you'd never be able to complete that set again, most likely. You'll never be able to find all the pins that go to that set to put them back together, let alone the frame to put it back together as well. Alright, so this next one here, I bought this one this past summer at Disney World because it was Donald Duck's, 80th birthday pin. It's a limited edition of 2500. It's a really cool pin because the center swivels on that. See, it goes from retro Donald to the modern day Donald. It's a really cool pin, and it just happened to be released the week that we were down there in Disney World this year, so that was a great surprise for us being there. This one is one of my personal favorites on design. It's artist choice design. It's a limited edition as well. I just like the flames behind Donald. And this one here, this was part of a convention, if I remember correctly. Yep, it was an artist convention. It's actually signed by the artist on the back of the pin. I'm a huge Three Caballeros fan. I love Panquito Pistoles and Joe Carioca. That's a Disney Auctions pin, if I remember correctly. Yep, Disney Auctions. That's a 250 as well. That's a pretty rare pin. I bought that one offline and I only saw one of it, and I haven't seen one since. So that's usually a good sign that it's a rare pin. My wife really wants this one because it's got Pluto along with Donald and Goofy in it. This is a cool pin. It's actually a locker. It opens up, and it's got Chip and Dale inside, and it's got a picture of Daisy inside Donald Duck's school locker. And another Caballeros pin. That was part of a Tinkerbell set of all the characters. And these few are all limited edition. This one's from the Cruise Line set, and I believe that one is as well. Both limited edition of, I believe, 500 or 750 on those. Now, it's got some of these, the surfboards. What's cool about these, you'll see a major difference between these two pins. If you notice on that one, Donald Duck's bill is orange, and on this one, it is white. This one is real, and that one is fake. We traded for these one of the years down at Disney World, and when we traded for this one, we're like, hey, that one looks different, and it's actually a counterfeit Disney pin. So I kept it just for my collection, just to say, hey, here's a real one, and here's a fake one being counterfeited. And what we were told by Disney is they actually have a pin room that somebody each night that goes through all the traded pins that they trade that night and picks out all the counterfeit ones. So if you're a pin trader, you may want to look up like the telltale signs of fake pins, because there is a lot of them, a lot of fakes out there, and a lot of people trading them at the parks. So case in point, I traded for that pin and it was fake. So there's a lot of fakes, so you got to be careful, and you need to know how to, before you trade, you need to know how to identify that pin and determine if it's fake or not. Now we got a Thanksgiving Donald. There's actually, this is Donald wrapped in duct tape, and there's actually a second pin that goes to this. It's actually Goofy that has a roll of duct tape that's rolling up Donald in tape. I love this pin. It's Duckosaurus. Donald dressed in a dinosaur outfit. And this one's part of an actually Olympic event pin set of all the characters. Santa, Donald, both of these are part of a occupation set. This here is actually a cast member award pin. So if you work for Disney for 5 years, you would be awarded that pin. I actually purchased that offline as well. And this one here, and Donald in the police hat, it doesn't look like much. I believe it is limited edition. Yep, it's limited edition of 30. I don't know if you can see that. I try to show it on the camera, but if you see right there, you can see it a little bit. It says AP, and what that means is artist proof. And every pin that they make, they single out a certain number, maybe 5, 10 pins that they do as an artist proof, that the artist certifies that that is a perfect replica of the pin that he's making. So it's now already limited edition of 300, and it's artist proof. So that's probably, say, of a 300 set, you'd be lucky to have maybe 5, 10 at the most, you would say, artist proof pins. So that is the artist proof of the limited edition set of 300s. That's an extremely rare pin. This one would look kind of strange to you, but because it's all white, and what's unique about this, it was part of a color your own pin set. So they left it blank so you could color in this pin with whichever colors you chose. So you could make it the bottle orange or red or whatever color you wanted. I would never color it because, I mean, the pin would be basically ruined, but that's what that pin set was made for. These three I bought at Disney World this year as well. And of course, the original Angry Bird Donald. I could not let that one. Any pin that I see Donald, I have to buy. And with today's social media, I don't tweet, I quack, because I'm a fan of Angry Donald over the Nice Donald, because I have a short temper just like Donald does. So I love that pin as well. And the Foul Mood Donald Duck. It's a great pin. Disney World Donald. I love this one as well. Chicks Dig Me. A few Angry Donalds. And then a Happy Donald. 70th anniversary. That's a limited edition. This was another one of my personal favorites. It's Donald Duck painting over the Mickey Mouse Club sign, because we all know that Mickey and Donald aren't the best friends. This one's a great pin. It's the Angel Donald and Devil Donald on the same pin. That's a limited edition as well, and that's a graffiti pin. That's also limited edition. This is not limited edition, but I just like the sorcerer hat with Donald, because Donald's always trying to steal Mickey's sorcerer's hat. These two my wife bought for me because she considers me a bad boy. We got Bad Boy Devil Donald. We have like the tough guy, maybe Biker Donald or something like that, but it's a really cool pin. Traveler Donald in a suitcase. Donald driving a plane. A remote control Donald. We got some. That's a Mickey head Donald, actually Cupcake, Donald suit, a couple more generic ones. I used to work construction before I worked for Utz, so I like this one a lot, driving a piece of machinery. A couple more just generic, different varieties of Donald pins. The Kite and the Key are really cool. A Vinylmation Donald. I traded for this one a few years ago. It's Mickey in Donald Duck's outfit. That is one of the most unique pins I've ever seen. And I couldn't believe somebody actually traded that pin. Donald again. Let's see. Donald and a tourist, the Angry Tourist. That's kind of me when we get on vacation sometimes, is Angry Tourist, along with a lot of other people. That one's a pirate set. The Animal Kingdom set. A Tiki Donald, or a couple Tiki Donalds here. Soda bottle, pirate coin. Couple other just generic Donalds, coffee cup. Coming across here, some more generic starter pin sets. Another Tourist Donald, Disney World 40th anniversary. Cool Donald, another Sorcerer Hat Donald, a Splash Donald. That one's actually Huey, Dewey, and Louie, but I put it along with Donald because it's part of the T-shirt set. And a couple money bills of Donald pins. An ear hat. I believe that one actually is limited edition, but it should be up top, but that's where I put it. There's actually a whole series of these, like the half Mickey hat sets. And a couple other generic ones. Silhouette Donalds. And actually, these two I got this year as well. That one's the Great Donaldo, part of the Pete's Silly Sideshow in the New Fantasyland. And this is actually Donald eating a Dole Whip. We love Dole Whips, so I definitely had to have that pin. And unfortunately, Disney World is one of the few places you can get a Dole Whip. Three Caballeros again. The whole set of the three Caballeros. And that set, the hard one to find is the Panquito. You can find the Donald and the Joe Carioca, but the Panquito is the completer to that set. And it's very, very hard to find them all together. Mexico from Epcot. A few of those. A couple other generic ones. Halloween Donald. Lollipop. Test Track. An Old School Donald. Christmas Ball. My wife got me that for Christmas. It actually came with a gift card. And here's my Star Wars ones that I have. Han Solo. If you can't tell, in the next few, I am a huge Darth Maul Donald Duck fan. Join the Duck Side. And The Apprentice Darth Maul Donald. And that was from Star Wars Weekends a few years ago. Actually, most of these were. Jedi Training Academy. This was an awesome pin with Maul, Invader, Donald Duck, and Goofy. I traded for that one. I couldn't believe somebody traded this pin. I about had a heart attack when I saw somebody actually traded that. And this one is my personal favorite of the Darth Maul Donald Duck. It's simple, just with the double lightsaber, but it is cool, and I've had so many people want to trade me for that pin off my personal lanyard, but the pins that I carry on my personal lanyard are not tradable. So a lot of people, I usually carry some of my best pins on my lanyard to show them off, and people always want to trade for them, but it's not going to happen. So there it is. That's what I say, 108 Donald Duck pins, and well, I'm sure within the next few years we will have the rest of this board completed. So this is probably 3 or 4 years of trading just for Donalds. And my wife's board is probably just as full of all of her favorite characters. We actually have a generic board, or a board just like this. It's all of our other random characters, other pins that we really like, but that aren't specifically Donald or the characters that she wants for her board as well. So, but there's a quick look at my Donald Duck pin selection. It's growing every day, and next time I show it to you, this board may be full, and we may be working on a second one. But thanks for looking at my collection with me. We'll see you soon. Thanks.